Hello, my name is Gerson Javier Palacios, and today I am going to explain to you about adverb and noun clauses. So first, let's define what a clause is. And a clause is a group of words working together that contains both a subject and a verb. So you have to keep in mind these both elements in order to identify a clause. But let's talk about the main topics and let's define what an adverbial clause is. An adverbial clause is a group of words that function as an adverb in a sentence. That means that the clause can modify or describe verbs, adverbs, and adjectives. So adverb clauses add information that elaborates on or tell us when, where, why, how much, or under what condition the action in the sentence takes place. And the words that we use to introduce an adverbial clause are called subordinating conjunctions, such as after, if, because, and although. So the big question here is, how do we identify them in a complex sentence? Keep in mind that subordinating conjunctions link adverb clauses with the word in the independent clause that the adverb clause is modifying. That word has to be a verb, an adverb, or an adjective. And let me give you two examples. The first one says, my mom smiled when I made dinner. As you can see, when is the subordinating conjunction that is introducing the adverb clause and is modifying the verb smiled that is in the independent clause. And it also answers the question when, that it refers to the time. And the second example, I walk because it makes me feel good. The same case, because is introducing the adverbial clause and is modifying the verb walk that is in the independent clause. And it answers the question why. So it is giving a reason. Now let's talk about noun clauses. A noun clause is a dependent or subordinated clause that works as a noun, and it can be the subject of a sentence, an object, or a complement. So the words that we use are conjunctions such as how, that, what, whatever, when, and all the ones that you can see on the screen. So how do we identify them in a complex sentence? Well, one of the easiest ways to spot a noun clause is to look for these words that are the ones that I have already mentioned, which are conjunctions. And keep in mind that noun clauses almost always start with one of these words. So this is a clue that you have to remember in order to find a noun clause in a sentence. Let me give you two examples. The first one says, what Alicia said made her friends cry. So this is a noun clause acting as a subject, and as you can see, it is introduced by the conjunction what, and you can also identify it because you can answer the question, what made her friends cry? And the answer is what Alicia said. And another tip is that you can add a regular noun to replace the clause. For example, you can say, the speech made her friends cry, and it makes sense. And let me give you another example. He didn't know why the stove wasn't working. This is a noun clause acting as an object. And it is also introduced by the conjunction, in this case, why. And you can also answer the question, what didn't he know? And the answer is why the stove wasn't working. And another tip is that you can add a regular noun or the pronoun it to replace the clause. For example, you can say, he didn't know the reason, or he didn't know it, and it all makes sense. So to sum up this, let me tell you that an adverb clause is a subordinated or dependent clause that modifies a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. And it tells us when, where, why, or under what condition the action in a sentence takes place. While a noun clause is a group of words acting together as a noun, but it means that it can be the subject, the object, or the complement of a sentence. And these clauses are always dependent or subordinating clauses as they are introduced by conjunctions. So it is extremely important for you to know these qualities and differences between adverbial and noun clauses. So if you keep in mind these rules, you will definitely master them. So this will be all for today, and I hope you like it. Have a nice day.